whaps you up, you wascally robot?
Short Circuit, 20 secrets they tried to keep hidden. It looked like a harmless 80s comedy. Cute robots, quirky scientists, and family fun. But Short Circuit had secrets beneath the circuits. Malfunctions, rewrites, and hidden controversies turned this cheerful hit into a behind-the-scenes storm. What should have been simple became surprisingly complex. Prepare to uncover 20 secrets they tried to keep hidden about Short Circuit. Shocking Secret 1. How Johnny Five almost had a completely different design. Johnny Five's iconic look was almost unrecognizable. Early concept art depicted a boxy, less expressive robot with minimal mobility and clunky limbs. The filmmakers realized this version couldn't convey personality or emotion effectively. Designers went back to the drawing board, studying real robotics and even animals to create a robot that could act on camera. Every joint, lens, and moving part was designed to reflect curiosity, humor, and intelligence. Practical considerations were also critical. Movements had to be safe, repeatable, and operable by multiple puppeteers. The final design included a flexible neck, expressive eyes, and articulated arms, making Johnny Five not just a machine, but a character audiences could root for. The design process was painstaking and iterative, but it transformed a mechanical prop into one of cinema's most beloved robots. Without these changes, Johnny Five might have felt cold and lifeless, rather than charming and iconic. Johnny Five's unforgettable look was born from redesigns and painstaking mechanical innovation. Shocking Secret 2. The voice behind Johnny Five was nearly someone else. Tim Blaney ultimately became Johnny Five's voice, but he almost wasn't cast. Early auditions included a wide range of actors and comedians, some with completely different tones, one deeper and menacing, another higher-pitched and cartoonish. The filmmakers struggled to find a voice that could balance humor, curiosity, and genuine emotion. Blaney impressed them by giving the robot a childlike wonder paired with a hint of mischief, perfectly complementing the mechanical design. He also improvised many lines on set, reacting to visual cues and adding personality that wasn't in the script. His performance made Johnny Five feel alive, helping audiences forget he was a puppet operated by multiple people. Without the right voice, the film might have leaned too much on physical comedy, losing the warmth and charm that made the robot relatable and memorable decades later. Johnny Five's personality came alive thanks to Blaney's perfect improvised voice. Shocking Secret 3. The original script was darker than you think. Early drafts of Short Circuit were surprisingly dark. Johnny Five was initially programmed as a military weapon, and the tone leaned heavily toward suspense, with destructive robot sequences and tense human-robot confrontations. Studios feared a family audience wouldn't respond well to a killer robot plot, so rewrites softened the narrative, added humor, and emphasized Johnny Five's innocent, lovable personality. Some deleted scenes still exist in storyboards, showing Johnny Five causing more chaos and even brief moments of danger. The tonal shift transformed the film into a heartwarming adventure while retaining traces of sci-fi tension. Writers carefully balanced these elements, ensuring Johnny Five remained a hero without eliminating the sci-fi thrills. These changes shaped the film's enduring charm, showing how a near-dark storyline could be reworked into a classic family favorite without losing dramatic stakes. The film almost featured a darker, destructive robot story before becoming a heartwarming adventure. Shocking Secret 4. A real military robot inspired the filmmakers. Johnny Five wasn't entirely imaginary. Designers studied military prototypes from the 1980s, including early remote-controlled robots and bomb disposal units. Engineers analyzed mobility, balance, and functional mechanics to create a realistic robot capable of believable movement. Some design elements, like articulated arms and camera eyes, directly mirrored real technology, giving Johnny Five an authentic robotic presence. On set, technical advisors helped puppeteers mimic realistic motions, making the robot interact convincingly with human actors. This research grounded the character, allowing the filmmakers to explore themes of artificial intelligence while keeping the performance visually credible. Observant viewers might not realize that Johnny Five's design was inspired by machines that actually existed, blending futuristic imagination with real-world engineering. The attention to authenticity helped the film stand out among other 1980s sci-fi projects, and ensured Johnny Five's enduring appeal. Real military prototypes helped Johnny Five's design feel both futuristic and believable. Shocking Secret 5. Studio executives hated the humor. Despite the film's comedic moments, studio executives were skeptical. They feared Johnny Five's quips, physical comedy, and improv scenes would undercut the sci-fi elements and alienate audiences expecting a serious robot movie. Writers and the director fought to preserve humor, arguing that it was essential to the robot's charm and audience connection. Tim Blaney's improvised lines were especially contentious. Executives worried the delivery might feel too whimsical. Test screenings confirmed that the humor was a hit, creating laughter and emotional investment in the robot's journey. Balancing humor with suspense became a central challenge for the filmmakers, ensuring scenes had tension but also warmth. Ultimately, the comedy won out, contributing to Johnny Five's enduring popularity and the film's cult status. Audiences remember the laughs, rarely imagining the behind-the-scenes tension that almost altered the tone entirely. Executives feared the jokes would ruin the movie, but humor became its heart. Shocking Secret 6. Sparks, explosions, and on-set chaos. Filming Short Circuit wasn't all friendly robots and laughter. Practical effects often created real chaos. Electrical sparks, smoke machines, and small pyrotechnics were used to simulate Johnny Five's reactions and malfunctions. On multiple occasions, wires sparked too early or effects misfired, startling the cast and crew. Tim Blaney recalls moments where he had to improvise to avoid accidents while keeping in character. These on-set mishaps added tension, but also authenticity, making the robot's malfunctions feel real. Safety protocols were tightened after minor injuries and close calls, but the risk added energy to performances and shots. The unpredictable nature of practical effects forced everyone to adapt quickly, blending technical precision with improvisational acting. In the end, these chaotic moments contributed to the film's charm, making Johnny Five's actions unpredictable, exciting, and utterly convincing to audiences. On-set effects were risky and chaotic, but they made Johnny Five feel alive. Shocking Secret 7. Ali Sheedy almost didn't play Stephanie. Ali Sheedy's casting as Stephanie was nearly derailed by scheduling conflicts and studio hesitation. The filmmakers wanted someone who could balance warmth, intelligence, and comic timing, and Sheedy's indie reputation initially made executives nervous. After several auditions and screen tests, the director pushed for her inclusion, confident she could hold her own opposite a mechanical lead. Once cast, Sheedy added her own improvisations, reacting naturally to Johnny Five's antics, which enhanced the robot's believability. She also advocated for scenes that deepened Stephanie's emotional connection to Johnny Five, giving audiences a reason to care beyond the novelty of a talking robot. Her performance helped anchor the film's human side, balancing mechanical spectacle with relatable emotion. Without her, the film might have felt hollow, relying solely on Johnny Five's charm and losing the crucial human heart. Ali Sheedy's improvisation and charm gave the film its human heart. Shocking Secret 8. Johnny Five's IQ scene was mostly improvised. One of the film's most memorable moments, the IQ test, was largely improvised on set. Tim Blaney reacted spontaneously to the cues, reading questions, misunderstanding answers, and spouting unexpected insights. The writers had a loose script, but much of Johnny Five's clever, quirky humor came from Blaney's real-time creativity. Director John Badham encouraged this improvisation, recognizing it made the robot feel alive and unpredictable. The scene became iconic because audiences could sense spontaneity. Johnny Five wasn't just reciting lines, he was discovering, reacting, and learning in real time. Crew members laughed so much during takes that it often took multiple attempts to get clean shots. This improvisation added depth to Johnny Five's character, making the robot seem curious, intelligent, and endearing. Many lines from this scene are still quoted today, proving that spontaneous creativity can define cinematic legacy. The IQ scene's humor and charm came from Tim Blaney's brilliant improvisation. Shocking Secret 9. The film used real robotics engineers. To make Johnny Five believable, the production hired real robotics engineers. These consultants designed functioning parts, helped puppeteers mimic mechanical movements, and ensured the robot's gestures looked realistic. Their expertise influenced everything from motorized arms to visual indicators that conveyed thought and emotion. Actors studied these engineers' work to react convincingly, integrating realistic robotics into performance. Engineers also helped troubleshoot malfunctions on set, keeping filming on schedule despite complex mechanical systems. This collaboration elevated Short Circuit above typical 1980s robot movies, giving Johnny Five a lifelike presence that audiences could suspend disbelief for. By combining practical mechanics with cinematic storytelling, the filmmakers created a robot that felt both futuristic and tangible, blending fantasy and science in ways that remain impressive even decades later. Real engineers made Johnny Five's movements believable and cinematic. Shocking Secret 10. A deleted ending changed the tone completely. The original ending was darker, showing Johnny Five facing potential destruction after a series of near-fatal malfunctions. Test audiences reportedly found it too tense and sad for a family movie, prompting the studio to order a happier resolution. The revised ending featured Johnny Five surviving, celebrated by his human friends, and escaping the fate of a purely mechanical existence. While it softened the film's dramatic tension, the new ending reinforced themes of friendship, individuality, and survival. Storyboards and deleted scenes reveal that the filmmakers had envisioned a more thought-provoking, cautionary tale about artificial intelligence and human intervention. The final cut, however, balanced suspense, humor, and heart, creating a feel-good conclusion that helped secure the film's lasting popularity. Fans often debate which ending would have been more powerful, showing the impact of studio decisions on storytelling. The ending was softened to ensure a family-friendly, heartwarming conclusion. Shocking Secret 11. The filmmakers risked safety with practical effects. The production of Short Circuit leaned heavily on practical effects, from smoke machines to sparks and small pyrotechnics. While these added realism, they frequently put cast and crew at risk. Tim Blaney and puppeteers often had to work inches from live sparks, coordinating movements precisely to avoid burns or equipment damage. Scenes with Johnny Five malfunctioning or sparking were especially tricky, requiring repeated takes and careful timing. The set was full of technicians constantly adjusting wiring and cameras to prevent accidents. Despite minor injuries and several close calls, the filmmakers continued pushing boundaries, believing practical effects were essential to bringing Johnny Five to life. Their risk paid off. The robot's movements, malfunctions, and visual gags feel authentic and dynamic. Audiences rarely realize that what seems like effortless charm and humor on screen came from tense, potentially dangerous on-set situations. The team risked real danger to make Johnny Five's effects believable and exciting. Shocking Secret 12. A hidden political message was nearly cut amid the family-friendly story. Early drafts contained subtle political commentary on automation, military funding, and corporate control. Johnny Five's origin as a military robot raised questions about artificial intelligence, weaponization, and ethical responsibility. The studio, fearing controversy, considered removing or toning down these subtextual elements, worried audiences wouldn't notice or would misinterpret them. Director John Badham and the writers argued that leaving the political undertones added depth without overshadowing humor. Scenes like Johnny Five rejecting orders to harm humans were deliberately preserved, creating moral tension under the comedic exterior. This subtle layer gives the film resonance beyond its slapstick charm, inviting viewers to think about robotics, AI ethics, and human responsibility, even decades later. The political undercurrents remain almost invisible to casual viewers, proving that family films can carry serious messages if handled cleverly. The film subtly critiques military AI and corporate ethics without losing its humor. Shocking Secret 13. Some props were surprisingly expensive. Despite appearing like ordinary 1980s gadgets, many props used for Johnny Five were meticulously engineered and costly. Electronics had to function for puppeteers, lights blinked at precise intervals, and mechanical arms were motorized to simulate intelligence. Even small details like blinking sensors or articulated fingers required custom fabrication. The team worked with engineers to create reliable yet cinematic devices, sometimes spending tens of thousands on a single robot limb. These props weren't just functional, they enhanced storytelling, giving Johnny Five the ability to interact naturally with actors and the environment. On set, Any prop failure could halt filming for hours, highlighting how much the movie relied on precision engineering. The investment paid off as audiences believed in Johnny Five's intelligence, reacting emotionally to what was, in reality, a carefully controlled machine. Even minor props were high-tech, expensive, and vital to Johnny Five's believability. Shocking Secret 14. The comedy came from on-set improv. Much of Short Circuit's humor was unscripted. Tim Blaney, Ali Sheedy, and the supporting cast improvised many scenes, reacting to Johnny Five's unexpected movements or quips. Directors encouraged these moments, knowing spontaneous comedy made interactions feel natural. For example, Johnny Five's innocent misunderstandings of human culture were often Blaney's improvisations, not scripted jokes. The crew had to adapt quickly, adjusting camera angles and dialogue on the fly. These improvised sequences gave the film a playful energy and allowed Johnny Five to evolve as a character rather than remain a static mechanical prop. The spontaneity contributed to the robot's charm and kept the cast genuinely engaged, creating laughter that felt earned rather than staged. This on-set improvisation is why the robot's curiosity and humor feel so authentic. Decades after the film's release, the film's laughter came from improvisation, making Johnny Five feel truly alive. Shocking Secret 15. Johnny Five was operated by multiple puppeteers. Bringing Johnny Five to life required a team of puppeteers working in perfect synchronization. Tim Blaney controlled the voice and head movements, while others operated arms, sensors, and mechanical gestures. This complex choreography ensured that Johnny Five's movements appeared fluid and expressive, despite being a mechanical prop. Timing was crucial. A single misstep could ruin a take. The puppeteers had to react dynamically to the actors, improvising minor motions to match the scene's emotions. This collaborative effort transformed an elaborate puppet into a convincing, autonomous character. The audience never sees the hidden operators, only the robot's personality shining through. Without this teamwork, Johnny Five would have been stiff and lifeless, unable to convey curiosity, humor, or empathy, proving that multiple skilled hands were essential for creating one of the most iconic robots in film history. Johnny Five's lifelike personality was the result of multiple puppeteers working in perfect harmony. Shocking Secret 16. Early screen tests shocked the crew. Before filming, the team ran extensive screen tests with Johnny Five, which often shocked the crew. The robot's mechanical arms, blinking sensors, and unexpected movements made it appear almost alive. Puppeteers discovered that slight misalignments caused Johnny Five to twitch in ways that were both hilarious and unnerving. Actors had to adapt quickly, sometimes improvising lines to match the robot's quirks. These early tests helped the team perfect timing, ensuring that Johnny Five's expressions and movements conveyed curiosity, humor, and emotion convincingly. Some crew members even described moments where they forgot Johnny Five was a machine entirely. The screen tests shaped key scenes, particularly the robot's interactions with humans, balancing comedy and empathy. By observing the robot's early personality, filmmakers adjusted shots, dialogue, and puppeteering, ultimately creating a character that felt autonomous. Early tests made Johnny Five's quirks both shocking and endearing to the cast and crew. Shocking Secret 17. The military scenes were filmed without permits. Several key military sequences were shot guerrilla style. To capture realism, the crew filmed at active military locations without official permits, relying on quick setups and minimal equipment. Extras were given hurried instructions, and cameras rolled before authorities could intervene. These risky tactics created authentic visuals, with real soldiers and equipment adding credibility. The team risked fines and delays, but believed the authenticity was worth it. In post-production, editing and sound effects masked any continuity errors caused by the rushed shooting. This approach gave Short Circuit a grounded military backdrop, making Johnny Five's escape and adventures feel embedded in a believable world. Fans rarely realize that some iconic sequences were pulled off through bold, behind-the-scenes risk-taking. Some of the film's military shots were captured guerrilla style, adding realism and tension. Shocking secret. 18. Johnny 5 inspired real-life robotics. Johnny 5 wasn't just a film icon, it influenced early robotics research. Engineers cited the robot's expressive movements and problem-solving behavior as inspiration for human-robot interaction experiments. Robotics labs studied how Johnny 5's gestures communicated emotion, influencing the design of early animatronic companions and AI interfaces. Researchers noted that audiences immediately connected to the robot due to its lifelike personality, demonstrating the importance of anthropomorphism in robotics. The film unintentionally became a teaching tool, showing engineers how motion, timing, and subtle gestures could create empathy for machines. Johnny 5's pop culture impact extended beyond entertainment, bridging cinema and real-world technology in ways few films achieve. Johnny 5's charm and realism inspired actual robotics research and AI design. Shocking secret. 19. Deleted scenes showed a darker side. Early cuts of the film contained darker scenes where Johnny 5 experienced existential questions about life, mortality, and being treated as property. These sequences were removed to maintain a family-friendly tone. Deleted footage reveals the filmmakers originally explored philosophical themes about artificial intelligence, morality, and free will. Tim Blaney even recorded nuanced reactions for these sequences, portraying Johnny 5 as contemplative and conflicted. Though these moments never reached theaters, they added depth to the character, showing a more introspective side. Fans who've accessed deleted scenes online notice the contrast between the lighter theatrical cut and the original vision, hinting at a film that was initially more thought-provoking and complex. Deleted footage hinted at Johnny 5's philosophical, darker side, adding depth to the story. Shocking secret. 20. The film's legacy endures. Decades later, Short Circuit remains a cult classic. Its blend of practical effects, improvisation, robotics realism, and heartfelt storytelling gave audiences a robot they could love and relate to. The careful puppeteering, Ali Sheedy's charm, Tim Blaney's voice, and innovative on-set techniques created a film that still resonates. Johnny 5 became more than a character. He symbolized curiosity, friendship, and the ethical questions of technology, all wrapped in comedy. Even new generations recognize the robot's charm, proving that careful craftsmanship and bold improvisation can create timeless magic. Fans continue to celebrate the film, from cosplay to robotics inspiration, cementing its place in cinematic history. Short Circuit endures as a timeless story of heart, humor, and technological wonder. Short Circuit wasn't just a feel-good 80s comedy. It was innovation, wires, sparks, and human chaos, all tangled into something that somehow worked. Beneath the laughter was a story about creation, control, and what it means to be alive. Maybe that's why it endures, because it reminds us that even machines can have heart. If this uncovered a truth about Short Circuit you never knew before, drop your favorite secret in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more revelations from the films that sparked imagination. Remember, Johnny 5 is still alive.